Politics and history have always been my passion, and I could not imagine living my life studying anything else. For the most part, this passion revolves around one set of principles and the cornerstone of the American system of politics, the United States Constitution. 320 million people live in the United States today. Each and every one of their rights is protected by the ideals set forth on a piece of parchment hundreds of years ago. One of the rights I've always found fascinating is the Sixth Amendment guarantee to a fair trial. An infamous Supreme Court case tested this right in Shepard v. Maxwell. In 1954, in an all-American city on the quintessential American holiday, a perfect American family was shaken to the core by a murder. That is a story that gripped America for nearly a decade while the case was dragged from courtroom to courtroom and in the years since. In Bay Village, Ohio, on July 4th, 1954, very early in the morning, Sam Shepard awoke from sleep on his couch. He made his way up the stairs to his bedroom where his pregnant wife was asleep. Just as he entered, by his account, a bushy-haired man knocked him out, and when he regained consciousness several hours later, it was only to discover Marilyn Sheppard's body bludgeoned and lifeless on the bed. How could such a small-town murder change the way civil liberties would be interpreted? Over the course of the next several weeks, the story became infamous in Cleveland and across the nation. The press swarmed the little suburb the Sheppards called home and turned Mr. Shepard's neighbors against him. Court proceedings began on the 18th of October, 1954, attracting press from across the country, looking to cover the case of the handsome young doctor who had killed his wife. After several weeks of emotionally trying court proceedings and scathing exposés in the news, Shepard was convicted of second-degree murder. That was not the end of the battle, however. After years of appeals and trials, the case reached the United States Supreme Court in November of 1965. Shepard's side was argued under the principle of due process of the law. The United States Constitution protects individual rights to a fair trial in the Sixth Amendment. The basic protections this amendment gives are those to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury. The Bill of Rights, in which the Sixth Amendment is included, covers only encroachments by the federal government, while the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment incorporates these rights to the state and individual level. Shepard insisted, while maintaining his innocence, that he was wrongfully convicted on the grounds of his Sixth Amendment and 14th Amendment rights to an impartial jury had been violated by the insatiable appetite of the press for his story. The defense, in theory, was very simple. Shepard's right to a fair trial was more important than the right to a free press ensured by the First Amendment. In practice is where it becomes a problem. How can one person's rights supersede another person's rights, or a group of people for that matter? In an 8-1 decision, the Supreme Court decided in favor of Shepard. They agreed that the rights of the press were subordinate, in certain situations, to the rights of an individual on trial. Ultimately, the Supreme Court decided that the jury had been influenced by an overzealous press, and the trial judge could have done more to ensure their separation. The Shepard case is one that became the stuff of legal legend in the United States. The murder of Marilyn Sheppard fueled the storyline that became the television series and movie The Fugitive. However gripping the story may be, it must be remembered that even in circumstances such as these, a document written hundreds of years ago is working to protect the rights of all citizens in all situations, no matter how unlikely or unforeseen it may have been when the framers sat down in Philadelphia at the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Like a strong tree, the Constitution is stable, yet flexible, allowing for interpretation.